What's up, guys? This is Coach Cam. Today I did a full body workout with body weight only outdoors at a park. So kicking off the workout with push-ups. So they have this awesome little bench here with a bar, so I could not pass up the opportunity to use this for my push-ups. I also have gymnastics rings that I brought with me to make the most of this. So usually I add weight to push-ups, but if you don't have enough weight or you don't have any weight, it's really a good idea to perform the reps slowly. This helps you eliminate any momentum, any acceleration, and helps really drive home the adaptations on the muscles. So I don't care about doing as many push-ups as possible. That's not my goal. That's not what I'm doing here with this exercise. But I am slowly recruiting and fatiguing muscle fibers until I get to those final few, the type 2 fibers, which are important for strength and speed and power. And I get to those at the end of this set. So this set was over 2 minutes long. Got to keep your form strict. Got to keep good body control all the way down, all the way up. Change directions slowly. And, I train slowly all the time now, and the reason is it's safer. So there's not really going to be a big difference in overall gains by going slower, as long as you're within a range of maybe 3 seconds per direction up and down. But if you start going shorter than that, then you are using the stretch reflex and getting through reps faster, which you're going to have less stimulus per rep, really. So you don't have to do that many reps to get a lot of stimulus. What you want is high intense muscular contractions and the deepest, what they call inroading or recruiting and deeply fatiguing muscle fibers. So that's what I'm doing here. They're getting deeply fatigued. Here I'm trying to push myself back up as hard as I can, full body shaking, and it wasn't happening. So you lower down slowly. Next, had to go for a little walk to get over to the chin-up bars, but it was worth it. Over here doing chin-ups body weight. I usually add a 45-pound plate, but like I said, I don't have that with me, and this is fine, which really taught me something today. It taught me that I need even less weight than I thought I did, depending on the exercise. So I could get away with just body weight on some of these if I really had to. Now, if I had access to machines and equipment, of course, I would use those, just because they're a little bit more efficient at getting the job done. But this is still just as effective over the course of your training career. So changing direction slowly. Also want to point out, this is probably the worst camera angle to make your arms look big. My arms look like toothpicks, but lesson learned, I guess. Still going here, nice and slow. Just want to be safe and want my muscles to be fatigued as much as possible. So when you train like this, after the first couple reps, every rep until failure is pretty much a grinding rep, which is important because that's where you are putting so much tension on your muscles, forcefully trying to get through the reps. This is my final isometric hold. I could not get to the top, and then I lowered down, and it ends the set. So that's as many muscle fibers as I could possibly recruit for that exercise. So here I'm doing ring bicep curls. Got to find a good position for your feet in the dirt, and then got to keep good body position. This exercise, as your biceps are elongating or doing the negative here, the tension actually increases. And then as you bring the rings closer to your face, the tension drops off a bit. So I don't know if you want to call this a lengthen bias exercise or whatnot, but it's really good exercise. And I mean, any exercise is going to be good. It's going to be effective if you can squeeze and contract the target muscle. A lot of people get caught up on the exercise selection and trying to pick the best exercise for this or that, when in reality, if you contract the muscles very, very hard, any exercise that allows you to do that is going to be effective. So these rings here, I've had them for 7 years, I believe, maybe 8 years. Always serve me well, especially with body weight exercises. So here, I think I have a rep left or so. It's very hard to start the exercise, but you got to keep good form. Trying to bring the rings to my face hard as I can. Barely got there. And now I'm going to hold an isometric hold for 5 seconds, maybe more, and then lower down with control. Attempt another rep here, see if I can get it. If not, it's fine. It'll be an isometric hold, and then I will lower down safely. So there I go. Next is ring face pulls. So I couldn't do lateral raises really with body weight. I didn't have any weights with me. So face pulls actually target your rear and mid delts very well. So this was kind of in place of a lateral raise. Once again, got to keep good foot positioning, got to keep good body position, and slow and controlled reps. So I think this set took me about a minute and a half. Anyway, just really working on the delts. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do face pulls before bicep curls, since the biceps are involved a little bit in pulling the rings backward, but did biceps first because that muscle is a little bit more of a priority. Really squeezing the delts as hard as I can. Some people might see these exercises and think, oh, he's really challenging his stabilizer muscles because he's using body weight exercises or rings, which get dubbed as being unstable, which in a lot of exercises they are. This one is not so much. It is stable. However, just because an exercise uses stabilizer muscles, or really muscles that act as stabilizers, does not mean it's a better exercise, even for those muscles. Because you could say, okay, my abs are stabilizing me during face pulls, but that doesn't mean face pulls are a good ab exercise. If I wanted to maximize the stimulus on my abs, I would have to do an abdominal exercise directly. So do not rely on stabilizer muscles, and don't pick exercises to try to recruit stabilizer muscles. You want to target the prime movers of the exercise. Here I'm doing dips. These bars are actually closer together than I remembered. So the bars are right outside of my hips, really putting the emphasis on triceps by them being so close together. My chest, shoulders, and triceps are pretty hammered by this point because of the push-ups and the face pulls. This set lasted about a minute, and I failed pretty early. Like, I wasn't sure that I was going to fail that early, but when it happens, it happens. But that's what happens when you train to failure. It's very intense, breathing really hard here. Just trying to grind out as many reps as I can do with the same form and tempo. It's important to keep the same tempo throughout the exercise, because if you start repping it fast, then you're going to do more reps, and you're going to write in your logbook, oh, look, I did more reps, I got better, when really you just did them faster, and that's why you got more reps. So more reps doesn't always mean that you got better, because you could have just done them even quicker, used momentum, the stretch reflex, etc. Here I'm doing body rows, nice and slow, controlled form, bringing my chest all the way to the bar. Once again, it's going to be hitting your brachialis, your brachioradialis in your arms, and then your rear delts, traps, rhomboids. Not really your lats, but mostly like your upper back muscles. A lot of people see this exercise and they recommend it to get better for pull-ups. A lot of pull-up tutorials will tell you to start with this exercise. And while that's not wrong, I don't think this exercise carries over to pull-ups as much as people say it does. Really, any back exercise that you're targeting the back muscles, getting them bigger and stronger, is going to help you perform a pull-up, because half of it is your muscular strength. The other half is a technical skill of you practicing exactly a pull-up. So you'd have to do pull-up negatives, probably sets of like 1 or 2 reps at a time, just to get the skill practice for pull-ups. Here we go. That was the end of that. Next is, this is a bodyweight triceps extension. I like to think of it as a JM press, but with your body weight. So I'm bringing the bar or my body to the bar at about around my nose or mouth level. I used to do these by putting my head underneath the bar and getting a really full stretch on the triceps. However, that actually aggravated my elbows years ago, especially one of my elbows. The tendon did not like that and kind of into the joint capsule area. So I do not perform them like that anymore. But this is a really good exercise for triceps. If you have only your body weight, you want to find either a bar or a countertop or your bed frame, something that's kind of around like stomach or chest height, and you can perform this exercise. Nice and slow and controlled. This set went on for over 2 minutes, so maybe I could have backed my feet up a little bit more, making the exercise more challenging by placing a greater percentage of my body weight as the resistance for my triceps. At this point in the exercise routine, you might be thinking, Cameron, what in the world is your routine? Like, why are you doing triceps all of a sudden? You did biceps as like your third exercise. Well, this park has the bars separated. So there's that push-up bench thing in the beginning of the video. Then, across the pond is the high bar setup. And then on another area of the pond is the dip bars. So I had to program basically doing all the high bar type exercises at that location and then walk over to these bars and do all the other exercises I plan to do this day. So this is not the order that I would have performed them, but it's the order that I had to use to get the most out of this workout based on the location of each of these little bar setups. This is my final isometric hold. Couldn't hold it anymore. Lower down slowly. So to do legs, I started off with basically what this is an isometric leg extension, just keeping my legs flexed, my quads flexed for as long as I could. That went on for about 50 seconds, just to pre-fatigue the quads before I start doing squats. I'm used to using, 155 pounds or so on my back for barbell back squats, but I don't have that today. So I was kind of scared as to how long it would take to fatigue my legs with just my body weight with squats. So started off with this, just to pre-fatigue the quads, get the rec fem working in there. And that's the end of that. So next I go into the squats. So I have not done squats like this, body weight, in forever, but you have to do what you have to do. The options I had were really split squats, lunges, or this. And if you do any one of those hard enough, it will be just as effective. So I chose squats here. I started realizing early on, don't go all the way up to full knee lockout because there's no tension on your muscles at that point. It's way too easy. The tension just drops off completely. So I kept a bend in my knees, and I was also discovering how much tension was on my quads and glutes and hamstrings at the deep bottom of the squat. There's so much more tension down there, and especially when I try to reverse directions and push back up. So I started going down and staying down there longer because it kind of felt like a wall sit almost, where your muscles are just burning and you're not sure why, but you know that you want them to in order to get them to failure, and that's the stimulus that you're chasing. So started just spending time down there, not resting. I'm not resting on my hamstrings, or my hamstrings are not resting on my quads. I'm fully engaging all my muscles with every single rep, squeezing them as much as possible to get the most out of them. Obviously, if you add weight, that can kind of help you along in terms of squeezing and using your muscles more. But if you add body weight, that's how you have to do it. So my legs were burning so bad, I had to quit at that point. Was Looking back, I wish I could have, pushed for like maybe one more rep, but that was as hard as I could push for today. So next we're doing calf raises, single leg calf raises. Kind of put my body at an angle just to get a little bit more range of motion. And then when I got to the left calf a little bit later, I realized that I'm the guy who says range of motion doesn't matter. So you don't have to get full range of motion. I should have just stood vertically, kept more weight over my toes for my calves to press against. But sometimes you forget what you've learned, and you think back and you accidentally slip back into old habits. But had no added weight, had to go down to single leg calf raises. So there's a couple more minutes here, but all in all, this is the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think. These are the exercises I would do if I had to train with only my body weight and a set of rings. And you can target your entire body with just your body weight. I could have maybe done ring hamstring curls. That would have been cool. So maybe in the future I will incorporate those. But overall, this was the best thing I could think of for today. And now I'm going to wait about 6 or 7 days before I train again. It was very intense. Cardiovascular system ramped up as usual when you train very intensely. A lot of people don't push themselves that hard because why? Because they trained the day before. They trained all week long. They're tired. Or they're training again tomorrow and the next day. So they can't push themselves quite as hard. But if you can push yourself to the limits, you will activate all the bioenergetic systems in your body, and you will improve in muscle size, muscle strength, cardiovascular, metabolic conditioning, and bone and tendon strength. So this is the end here when I realized I could stand vertically and put more weight onto my toes for my calves. And at the end of my workouts, I do a little video of this little flexing routine that I came up with just to document my size, my body weight, everything for the day. So height's 5'7.25". Body weight, I don't really know. I've had a lot of issues where I haven't been able to weigh myself because I'm not at my house, but around 167 pounds. And so far I'm really trying to bring up my arms the most. I think they have been growing. I'm going to measure them again soon shortly, but overall, love this style of training. You put the work in, then you get a lot of rest, and then you just rinse and repeat. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time.